So, this little show of mine wouldn't be finished without a grand finale. And don't worry, Administrator, it's coming. The projection of Delia said with a smile, as it played on every screen in the city and across the world. So, Asa, about what point in our little plan are we at? Well, Delius, Asa said, looking at a watch that she had affixed to her wrist. According to our projections of your overall speed, at this point you should have destroyed all of the biomat devices, destroying their ability to transport to the core world. But that's not enough to end things just yet. There's still the problem of the President herself, and of course, those super enhanced soldiers of hers. We can't have her increasing the size of her army, but don't worry, it won't be a problem. You see, when you tried to kill Delius, he had already been made an official representative of his world. In other words, an official diplomat, complete with all of the official rights that all diplomats possess, as representatives of their people and their worlds. The attempt to kill a diplomat is an offense, a violation of interplanetary acts and ordinance. Diplomats are protected. The attempted assassination of a diplomat, under order of any representative of any government, under law and premise of the interplanetary councils and systems therein, calls for the immediate dismissal of that representative. They are no longer allowed to hold status within their own world government. They are to be stripped of title, rank, and privilege. And, of course, charged for the attempt of murder, or murder itself should they succeed, under the penalties of their own world law. So, as of this moment, Administrator, you've broken those laws, and are subject to the rules of the system. But you do still have that superpowered army, and that's the point we're about to reach. You see, at this exact moment, Delius is just finished smashing his way through the highly secured facility in which you're housing the cellular clusters that you accumulated from him and have been developing in order to produce your super soldiers, and has already taken those cells back. So your little super soldier army isn't getting any bigger than it is right now. At current stands, you only have 6, and they're all right there with you. As of this moment, I've already sent a transmission, including your overall plans, as well as testimonial from myself and Delius, to all the other worlds in the system. They've all been made aware of what you've done, and what you plan to do. And they've already sent agreements to back us, and not only restored all of Delius's ambassadorial rights, privileges, and such, but also named him the official criminal administrator and wartime official, with all of the rights and privileges that implies, meaning he has the ability to enforce justice for any crime committed against any one of his people, to confiscate materials used in experimentation of people of his race, or their genetic components, to destroy weapons that are planned to be used against them unlawfully and without right or reason, meaning that everything he's done up to this point is completely within the law of the system. So, Administrator, there really aren't any good options left, but the smart one would be to do what's right, and you're gonna get one, and only one chance to do it, Asa said with a smile, as all of the broadcasts seemed to terminate, simply stopping right then, as the mutters of the people began to grow to a roar. News reporters shouting questions, people seeming enraged, everyone in a near frenzy, and the administrator looking both enraged as well as beginning to look a bit frightened, as suddenly heavy banging sounds began ringing through the area as impacts to nearby buildings sent cracks through the structure, one after another, each getting closer to the central segment and structure of the main hall where everyone were gathered. Finally, at the nearest building, yet another impact rang out from it, ending in a massive explosion right in front of the official grand hall that everyone was gathered outside of, a large cleared segment, a gap in between the people and the grand administrator. Stone and concrete flew about. A torrent of dust filled the air as spiderweb cracks fractured out from the location of this seemingly unidentifiable explosion of force. But as a small breeze began to flow through, beginning to carry away the dust, there within it, smoke flowing off from the clothing on his body as parts of it seemed to catch fire, burning as he wore them. Standing up from the cloud of smoke in the crater in the ground where he landed was Delius, with a single hand grasping the flaming shirt that was burning away on his body, tearing it off and throwing it to the side. Well, so much for highly durable fiber, Delius said as he cast it away. So, Administrator, Delius said, looking up to her with a smile. This is your last chance. You have officially been ordered to stand down, relinquish all government duties and rights, and forego all military and non-military actions by the Interplanetary Council. My grievance has been heard and approved. I'm here to escort you to the nearest prison, where you will be held for trial. Do you accept these terms, Administrator? Delius said, looking up at her, unflinching as he stood in the crater where he landed. The Administrator looked absolutely livid, furious beyond reason as she clutched the podium in front of her, gritting her teeth as she stared down at him, until finally, the anger seemed to begin to subside. Well, Delius, I must say, I'm exceptionally impressed. I never expected you to get off that planet. I mean, we stopped monitoring you because we thought you were stuck. That if you could get off, you would have by then. But I suppose we underestimated you. You're to be commended, Delius. And this master plan of yours, I must say, it's artful. I really wish Miss Asa had stayed on with us. However, she simply refused to go along with the structure and established order. So terminating her could not be helped. And seeing this plan of yours unfold, I can see now it would have been so much easier if she had simply gone along with us. She's such a smart woman, isn't she? However, there is one part of this grand plan of yours that you seem to have neglected to account for, the Administrator said, as she began to smile down at Delius. All of this work and effort you've put in to legally incarcerate me for my so-called crimes can only really be enforced if you're actually able to win. And here you've gone ahead and put yourself right in front of me. So really, the other world militaries can't do anything. With the power of the gods on our side, even if they were to try to launch counterattacks, my soldiers are more than capable of handling it. That's the entire point in their existence, why we created them. As far as destroying our samples before, it doesn't really matter. You are all the sample we'll need to produce an entire army. And now, with my 6 enhanced soldiers right here beside me, she said as they began to step up. All you've done is delay the inevitable. Once they've beaten you into a pulp, we can get right back on track. Now able to produce even more soldiers, using your cells as their basis. And we don't have to wait for you to shed them anymore. My men will rip them from your flesh and bone. And our new age, the new age where we reign as the gods of this system, will begin. So, in conclusion, the administrator said, smiling and raising her hands to both sides. Gentlemen, kill Delius, she said, as 3 men on both sides, all wearing military armament and outfitting, leaped off of the podium in coordinated movements surrounding Delius. So, I see you're not going to make this easy, Delius said. So be it, Grand Administrator.